honestly, this shift has been one of the most rewarding and healing experiences for me. Releasing hyper independence doesn't mean that you stop showing up for yourself. It just means that you stop believing that you have to carry everything on your own. And for me, that unlearning was just as necessary as packing my bags to come here. Hey fam, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Heyjavonnejay and I'm a California native who moved to Bangkok, Thailand to teach English and immerse myself in Thai culture. But first, let's address the elephant in the room, and no, I'm not talking about my hair. I know I've not posted in a few weeks now, but if you caught my post on my community tab last week, you'll know why. Or if you follow me on Instagram, you know why. So the reason why I've been MIA here on YouTube for the last few weeks is because I, drum roll please, have released an ebook. I finally released my first ebook. It's called From Broke to Bangkok, the ultimate roadmap to rebuilding your life in Thailand. It's for folks that are serious about moving to Thailand, which if you've been watching my channel for a while, or even if you just found me, you likely are. And it's been so exciting for me too, because a lot of people have messaged me saying that they've made the move to Thailand and that my videos have helped them. I'm by no means taking credit for all of that, but it really warms my heart. It makes me so happy to know that my videos have helped contribute to that. So I really wanted to put together a guide that just lays it all out there, so you have something that you can quickly reference, something that just kind of holds you accountable. I'll have the link pinned in the comments, and I will also have it in the description. But today's video is more of a heart-to-heart, because even though there's so many videos out there about moving abroad and moving to Thailand, there's an aspect that I don't really see talked about that much, and that's about unlearning, specifically unlearning the Western mindset that we have built into us. And a lot of times that doesn't really come out until you go to another country and you realize, wow, we've really been programmed. So let's get into it. So a very common Western mentality is that productivity equals worth, right? We may not hear those words explicitly, but it's definitely implied. It feels like rest has to be earned. There's this big grind hustle culture. With the skyrocketing cost of living, people are trying to do whatever they can to make enough money to just survive, not even to thrive, not to live, but to survive. So with that, your productivity is seen as your worth, especially from your bosses, your higher up. If you're in sales, how much commission did you make? Did you meet this quota? And not even just in the corporate world. I worked mostly retail and customer service jobs, and even that had sales goals. And I get it. Businesses at the end of the day are about making money, and the employees are put there to make the company's money. But think about that. The employees are there to make the CEOs richer, right? I could get real red pill. I'm not going to do it, but if you guys want me to really tell you how I feel about that in depth, I might actually put that out there. But for now, we'll keep it simple. But yeah, there's so much that we put into productivity being our worth. But yeah, it just feels like in the West, in the US in particular, rest has to be earned. Like when I was living in LA, my gosh, LA is very much a hustle and bustle city, which makes sense. It's one of the most expensive cities in the world. So of course people are grinding, working 2, 3+ jobs, not even to like really thrive out there, but just to make ends meet. They've got a bunch of roommates, etc., etc. Been there, done that, trust me. But yeah, even on my off days when I wasn't working, I would still feel guilty if I didn't do something productive. Why do I feel guilty for taking a day to just rest, to just be? Out here in Thailand, it's just so different. And even though I live in Bangkok, as far as the actual mentality, totally different from LA, totally different from the States, the West. It's so different. Yes, everybody here has to make money. That's just a fact of life, whether we like it or not. Capitalism is going to capitalize, but let's be real, some countries, capitalism is more embedded in the culture than others. And by that, I mean, in the US, it's very much output, 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 work, work, work. We're here, I'll see shop owners close up for the day because it's raining, or maybe business is slow, or they just feel like it. I don't know, maybe they're sick, maybe they're tired. I don't know the reason in particular, but even though the sign on the door says that they're open from this hour to this hour, and they're leaving 1, 2, 3+ hours before then, they can do that. They do that, and that's so normal here. The people here really honor their needs. If they need to rest or if they need to attend to a family matter, they're not putting that on the back burner because the business comes first. And in the States, it just feels like the complete opposite. They've got family members in the hospital, or they've got sick parents that they're taking care of at home, sick children, and they're not even able, they're like having to beg their boss to get off early to go pick up their kid. Like, that's so insane that it's like that. Here, family values are so embedded into the culture that something like having to tend to a family matter, yes, please go. At my school, one of the teachers had to leave early because her kid was sick. And our boss was like, of course, go. Like, it wasn't a big deal. It wasn't this thing like, oh, well, we're going to have to find somebody to cover you. Like, there's no guilt tripping it. They figure it out. They will figure it out. And that's the thing. It's all figure outable. But for some reason in the United States, well, not some reason, because of capitalism, it's looked down upon to have a personal matter to attend to. It's like, how dare you leave early? What are we going to do? How are we going to cover it? It's definitely figure outable. But these companies, they really want to brainwash you into believing that you have to be productive and you have to be on all the time. Otherwise, you're a terrible person, and they guilt trip you for it. And you might even end up getting fired for it. And it's absolutely ridiculous. Subconsciously, you do start to believe that, and you do start to feel guilty for being human. And it should just not be that way. Here in Thailand, they have what's called the sabai sabai lifestyle. Relax. Just sabai sabai. It's not that big of a deal. And the way that I see sabai culture here is pretty much everywhere you go, you will see not just massages, people giving massages, you'll see massage chairs. I just went to the hospital yesterday. There were massage chairs in the waiting room. I'm like, this is amazing. They care. They genuinely care about their well-being. That's something that is prioritized here. Rest isn't looked down upon. And I just really wish the West, I really wish the US would just get it together when it comes to that. A lot of people want to leave the US because they're stressed. And a lot of that stress is because of the pressure that their jobs, their employers are putting on them to just keep constantly being productive and having all this output. But it's like, we're not machines, we're not robots. We are human beings, and we need to take care of ourselves. Over the past few years, as I've been on my healing journey, I have heard this saying that you can't pour from an empty cup. I've experienced burnout myself, constantly giving. Meanwhile, your tank is on empty. You need to make sure that your tank is full so that you can then give from your overflow. You'll literally run yourself to the ground, then you're going to end up sick, and guess what? Then you can't be productive. So overall, I'm learning that rest isn't laziness, it's just human. I don't need to prove that I've done enough to deserve peace, and neither do you. Another mentality from the West that I'm unlearning is urgency in everything. Kind of tying back into the first point. In the US, it feels like everything has to happen right then and there. It has to happen right now. I also call that microwave culture, that whole gotta have it now culture. And honestly, that mindset bleeds into everything, even how we view our personal progress. But in Thailand, that sense of urgency just isn't there. Things move slower, and not in a lazy way, but more so in a we're not stressing ourselves out for no reason kind of way. I've waited 20 minutes for street food while the cook made everything one order at a time and not rushing even when a line formed. Nobody left, nobody was tapping their foot, nobody was like, oh, no one complains. People waited and they were just talking amongst each other on the phone, just doing their thing. It's just not a big deal here. In the past, I would have just got up and left. I mean, unless I really have somewhere I need to be, I always try to remind myself, where do you have to be right now? Relax. Sabai sabai. And if you don't learn to slow down, you're going to end up burning out in a place that wasn't rushing you to begin with. Another Western mentality I had to unlearn was that hyperindependence meant survival. One thing that I didn't realize until I moved abroad was just how deep my hyperindependence ran. That it was survival mode disguised as a personality trait. It's really been embedded to me, directly or indirectly, especially as a Black woman, that the only way to be safe was to be self-sufficient. I was raised by a single mother. Mom, I know you're watching this. I love you. Mwah. This is not a dig at you at all, Mom. But yeah, being raised by a single mother, obviously I saw her working very hard to provide for me and my siblings. She taught me that you don't have to rely on anybody for anything. And while I do agree with that mentality, I agree with it only to a certain extent. I don't think we should be relying on anybody to provide for us, to be our providers, but I don't think there's anything wrong with asking for help or for being in community. I saw times where, and I feel like that's something that was passed down onto her from her parents who were business owners. They very much instilled in her to be an independent person. It was a form of generational trauma, right? We're passing it down. Even though it could be seen on the surface level as a good thing, there is a shadow or dark side to that, where you're so afraid, or you're so ashamed rather, of asking for help because you think it makes you look weak. You're indebted to somebody else, or that somebody else owns you in a way. And it doesn't have to be that deep. So I think I learned that the only way to be safe was to be self-sufficient, and that turned into me being the don't worry about me person, the I'll figure it out person. And honestly, that mentality, it kept me afloat and it got me through. But when I moved to Thailand, I realized how big community is here. And then that mindset started to feel heavy, because here community is woven into everyday life. People show up for each other without it being a big deal. It's not a tit for tat situation. I'm only helping you to get something from you in return, or so I can ask you for something later. Like, it's not transactional. It's just community. It's just the way things are. And I love that. It's so genuine. And I even find times where I don't trust it. Earlier today, I had my groceries delivered to me, and there was a Grab driver that was delivering somebody else's food, and he saw me struggling with my bags, and he just started reaching for it, and I moved back a little bit, and he was like, I'm just trying to help. And so I was just like, oh, I'm sorry. And he was trying to help me, so he helped me with my bag, which was great. But it's so embedded in me. It can be so embedded in us to not want to accept help from others, even in just small ways like that. That man wasn't trying to take my stuff. I don't necessarily think he was trying to take my stuff, but to be honest, I don't know what I thought in that moment. I think I'm just so used to just being like, oh, I got it, I don't need help. And it's like, it's okay. And that was something I actually mentioned in my From Broke to Bangkok Part 1 video, where I was talking about the point in my life where I was homeless and not wanting to move back home because I felt like a failure. And I had mentioned in that video, sometimes you have to accept the help that's being offered to you. And I was in no position to not accept that help being offered to me. And I'm glad I wasn't so hard-headed that I didn't do that, because I quite literally would have ended up on the streets, and I wouldn't be where I am today. So it is that deep, and it can be so embedded in our culture to, figure it out and, do it on your own and pull yourself up by the bootstraps and all this other nonsense that we're told. And it's just so toxic. People here definitely show up for each other, and it's just so genuine and it's so beautiful. Actually, last week, one of my coworkers, she's a local here to Thailand, and she brought me mangosteens. I actually made a video about it. I think I posted it here on YouTube Shorts, and it's also on my Instagram. She brought me mangosteens and like a finger banana. It's literally the size of your finger. She's like, mangosteen, I got you mangosteen. She's so sweet. Oh my gosh, she's so sweet. I'm like, oh my gosh, thank you so much. She showed me how to eat it. It was just such a sweet, wholesome interaction. And, she didn't do it because she wanted anything from me in return. She's just so excited to share her culture, and that's that community aspect that I'm talking about, and unlearning that hyper independence. Because my natural inclination, anytime somebody offers me anything, even if I want it, is to say, oh, no, thank you. Oh, that's so nice of you, but no, thank you. And it's like, no, I'm learning now to just accept it and just be like, wow, thank you so much. I really appreciate that. And I truly did. It was delicious. If you've never had a mangosteen, please try a mangosteen. It's so good. But yeah, just learning to accept what you're being offered. It's okay. Honestly, this shift has been one of the most rewarding and healing experiences for me. Releasing hyper independence doesn't mean that you stop showing up for yourself. It just means that you stop believing that you have to carry everything on your own. And for me, that unlearning was just as necessary as packing my bags to come here. Last one I want to address is the mindset that ownership means success. So in the West, especially in the United States, success is often measured by what you own. Your car, your home, having the latest iPhone. There's this pressure that if you don't own something, or at least look like you could, that you're somehow behind or that you failed in life. And even though I'm not particularly a materialistic person, that mentality sometimes can still be hard to escape. Society will literally brainwash you into making you feel like you have to have the latest and the greatest. I'm sure most of us have seen that meme. Oh, the ghetto. She got a white refrigerator. The ghetto. Like, and it's just like, so now that's become a thing. Like, oh, if you have the white refrigerator, like you're not doing well. You're not successful. And it's just like, it's funny meme wise for the culture, for pop culture wise, but people really do internalize that and think that, well, damn, I have a white refrigerator, or I have popcorn ceilings, or I don't have the quartz countertops, I don't have the soft close cabinets. So what does it really matter at the end of the day? The reality is we can't take any of this with us when our life ends. These material things are still here long after we are. And I think when you think of it that way, it really puts into perspective how unimportant these materialistic things really are. And since living here, I've noticed that people in Thailand, they don't value material things the way that they do experiences. There's less pressure to accumulate and just permission to just live. It's just so refreshing because honestly, I feel like that's the way it should be. I think when you stop tying your self-worth into your stuff, you then create space for you to define what success looks like for you. For me, since living here, success looks more like peace of mind, slower morning, and not working myself into the ground just to afford things that I can't even really make time to enjoy. Releasing the ownership equals success mindset doesn't mean that you have no ambition. It just means that your success isn't tied to capitalism's checklist. And I break this down even further in my From Broke to Bangkok ebook, especially in the last chapter about mentally unpacking. Honestly, that has to happen before you move abroad if you want to thrive. I do have mental checkpoint questions after each chapter to help keep you on track. So again, if that's something that you're interested in, it'll be linked in the description below and in the pinned comment. Now, as I've said before, living abroad won't fix all your problems, but it'll definitely show you what needs healing. And for me, that healing started when I let go of who America told me I had to be. All right, I think I'm going to wrap the video up here. I would love to know in the comments, what is something that you're trying to unlearn or hoping to learn once you move abroad? And of course, if you like this video, please sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye!